This gold company has done something bordering the impossible. It was just granted with mining rights to an entire country which hasn't been explored in 40 years. It's ahead of competition by at least 7 years, and for the first time, here's the CEO and the president with all the details. Today I have special guest with us with me today, John Proust. He's chairman and CEO of Japan Gold. John has successfully founded and managed a number of resource companies. He's served on boards and held senior operating positions with numerous resource companies. He's currently chairman and CEO of Southern Arc Minerals, chairman and director of Canada Energy Partners, chairman and CEO of Carbon One Technologies, interim president and CEO and director in Outrider Energy, and a director in Q Investments. Also with us is Dr. Michael Andrews, who is currently in Malaysia. He's the president and chief operating officer for Japan Gold. Mike is a geologist with over 30 years of research and mining industry experience in gold, copper, coal, and iron exploration. He holds an honorary degree in geology from the University of Reading and a doctorate in exploration geochemistry from the University of Wales. He's currently the president and chief operating officer, as well as a director in Southern Arc Minerals and a director in Q Investments. He was a founding director of Kingross Mining and played an instrumental role in the discovery, exploration, feasibility, and development of its way to Lingo gold mine in Indonesia. Dr. Andrews was also director of gold operations for Mikathara Minerals and managed exploration portfolios of 13 gold and copper projects in Indonesia. He also held a senior exploration position with Ashton Mining and Aurora Gold. Gentlemen, what I want to do here is jump right into this, because what you have been able to pull off with Japan Gold is beyond miraculous, and the goal here is to learn firsthand from you how this all came to be. So first, let's talk big picture here. Prior to making investments today, with a third of the world's central banks in negative interest rates, and Eastern governments like India and China buying huge amounts of gold, with the US approaching $20 trillion in debt, what kind of environment are we in today for investors? Do you think gold is an investment today, or is it more a form of protection, or both?
Lior, excellent question. This is John Proust. We're in a very uncertain environment in the world, but we're in an outstanding environment for gold investors. Gold is both an investment opportunity, I think, at this point, and a form of protection. And so we're very bullish on gold.
Excellent. Michael, do you have anything to add to this?
No, John's answered it there. I think with the instability, political instability, and financial instability that we've seen, both with the dollar and whatever, I think rather than a form of protection, the way gold is going to accelerate, I feel in the next 12 months, 24 months, it's a total investment.
That's incredible. The reason Wealth Research Group was founded in April was to tackle this amazing opportunity that's going on in gold and precious metals. Gold stocks have had an incredible run here in 2016. What's the biggest driver, in your opinion, to this massive upside explosion?
Well, unfortunately, as we all know, the biggest drivers are typically negative activities. Brexit has been one of the main drivers here. It's been prolonged and messy, and those negotiations between the UK and Europe could lead to further uncertainty. This is a scenario that really could support rising gold prices. Also, the continued uncertainty in the Middle East is a real source of concern that could drive gold prices higher.
Understood. Mike?
No, John's answered that, I think.
Beautiful. No, that's perfect. We at Wealth Research Group, we believe that negative interest rates are by far the most surest and most accurate driver for higher gold prices. And what we love is that we just came out of a five-year brutal bear market, and so money is just starting to pour into exploration companies and discovery. There hasn't been any major discoveries in so many years that we've all heard about Mexico, Nevada, Alaska, Peru, and it seems like these locations are pretty much, the low-hanging fruit have been picked. How has Japan managed to remain under the radar for so long, and why?
Mike speaking here. I'll answer this one. The key thing about Japan is that it really has not been open to global exploration technologies for 40 years or more. The Japanese companies, the mega conglomerates, Sumitomo, Mitsui, and the like, they have many arms, but they've been investing, and they've been encouraged to invest overseas, out of Japan, by the Japanese government to secure resources. And because of this, there's been no inward looking at the geological setting of Japan and the how prospective geologically Japan really is for 30 or 40 years. It's in 2012 Japan changed its mining law. It realized the need for investment, and one area that could be developed is resource development and mining, and it's now open for foreign investment into mining. But until 2012, this was not the case, and there was no encouragement, and there was no openness to encourage people to look at Japan, even though geologically it's as prospective as the Philippines, Indonesia, and the like, which has phenomenal mines.
That's pretty remarkable. It reminds me of what happened in the U.S. market for oil, where everything was imported for so many years, and now it's open to shale fracking. And we all know what a huge fortune was created by the first people who got into shale oil and fracking, etc. This reminds me of a huge shift in government policy that is driving this, and it's truly remarkable. What's so exciting, Mike, geologically about Japan?
Well, when you look around the western margins of the Pacific, you have a belt of volcanic activities, what are called island arc terrains, which are of a particular composition, which generates phenomenal high-grade gold deposits, which we call epithermal deposits, and also massive sort of copper-gold resources in which we call porphyry coppers. The Philippines hosts and historically has mined a number of phenomenal resources of gold-rich porphyry coppers and very high-grade gold. Indonesia hosts a number of very large copper deposits that contain gold. In fact, Freeport's Grasberg deposit is the biggest resource of gold in an operating mine in the world. And when you look around the belt, you've got Philippines, Indonesia, New Guinea, and it effectively stops Japan. Now, that's not because of geology. That's because there hasn't been the extent of modern exploration carried out in that area. But I'll also say that based on government exploration, a bit of government work done in the early 80s, the government discovered what is now one of the highest grade and richest gold mines of all time in Japan, that's been operated very successfully and is still operating by the Sumitomo Corporation. So even though this mine is called the Hishikari mine, it was discovered in 1983-84, and even on the basis of that the richest gold mine ever discovered was found in southern Japan, there's been no follow-up exploration. That makes a phenomenal opportunity.
So what we have here is a country that has been overlooked because of government policies, and basically it's in the middle of this Pacific Ring of fire, which is one of the best places on Earth to look for resources, and it's just opening up. And what I found incredible with this company is that you were able to secure permits before anyone else, including many billion-dollar companies. Now you're staking claims in the best spots in Japan. It's like buying up all the oceanfront view properties in Malibu and then only allowing somebody else to come in and buy after you. John, there can only be one original explorer in Japan. How far ahead of competition would you say you are at this point?
Look, we are clearly the first mover. As soon as we saw that regulation changed in late 2012, we moved, and we moved very quickly with property identification. We identified the targets that we were after, and then we went in and we put our applications in, which secured our right to those properties and our access to those properties. You know, this is a first world country. So I support what Mike is saying in terms of the prospectivity of the whole region and how this is being overlooked. But a number of the countries that Mike has mentioned are not first world countries. So this is also a first world country, wonderful tenure. So we've got security to property interests, fantastic infrastructure and access, and wonderful government support and encouragement. So when you add all these things together with being the first mover, where we've picked the best properties, we think we're in absolutely a unique position.
So what we have is a government that's just changing gears and is moving towards a friendly support to the mining industry. We got a country that's been undermined and overlooked for 30 years. The only mine that's active in it is one of the best gold mines in the world, and you guys are the first to get permits and stake your claims, basically throughout the country wherever you find it best, and everybody else will have to settle in 4, 5, 6 years for the leftovers. Andrew, you've been around, Michael, you've been around the industry for decades. You've seen your fair share of companies evolve from an idea to large profitable operations. Has something like this ever been done in your career, where you've absolutely been the first to explore such a large territory?
Absolutely no. This was an unbelievable opportunity. We've actually been operating and following leads up, looking for projects in Japan for the last 3 or 4 years, but under the radar screen, because no one else was doing it. We have developed relationships with consulting groups, with mining companies, with the government officials who, in their whole career, had never had the responsibility for issuing exploration licenses. And we've worked through this for the last 3 years to get to the position we are. Now, the competition haven't done that. The government agencies, new companies coming in, they don't know the competition. So we're right off the first rank there. And my career has been in exploration for the last 35 years. I've been involved with the development of 3 significant gold mines in Southeast Asia, 2 in Indonesia, 1 in the Philippines. And I'm always looking for acquisition opportunities globally for the companies that I'm closely involved in. And I have never seen an opportunity like this where you have a first world country with absolutely rock-solid mining laws, with a record of respecting mining laws and respecting investors' rights, that was completely open for acquisition and for applications. We've actually been able to acquire the exploration rights over covering at least 12 previous operating mines that in the last 40 years have had no exploration around them. Now, there are no opportunities like this anywhere else in the world.
So basically, you have had a chance to come in, look at historical success stories where they left trails, and follow up on that. That's amazing. I mean, I know you probably can't mention this, but let me ask you this anyway. One of the main...
Just maybe if I could just add one comment.
Sure.
Sorry, before we move on here, but and this is John Proust. This is the most unique and scalable opportunity that I've seen in my career, period. There's enormous potential here, and I echo the rationale that Mike has put forward, but I just wanted to just give you that point that I have never seen anything like this, and the scalability is fantastic.
So this story is fresh, it's new, but obviously, you probably can't mention this, but there's probably a slew of insiders that are trying to establish a connection with you guys prior to drilling season, and even better, probably major companies are looking for a piece of the pie at this point as well. Have you been approached by majors already who want a piece of this? This is probably going to be one of the biggest opportunities for any company to get into a new market in the next 20, 30, 40 years here.
Look, excellent question, appropriate question. Unfortunately, I can't really comment on that, but I will say that we feel that it's very important that we keep majors abreast of an opportunity, our opportunities, new opportunities, and we have done that for a period of time now to make sure that people see how this program has been progressing. Because the key thing in terms of where we are now is, if you want to enter Japan and you're not Japan Gold, well, you'd want to contact Japan Gold because
it's the only game in town.
It's the only game in town. We're the first mover. So, and we do think we've been very, very careful and selective in terms of our property identification. That's
incredible. One of the main themes of Wealth Research Group is identifying targeted buyouts, potential takeover targets. You were saying, Mike?
Yeah, can I just come in there? When you're talking about majors, obviously from your point of view, you're thinking about the major, the big major global mining companies and mine developers. The thing we have in Japan is that is a potential contact and partner down the track is there's a number of Japanese industry is organized into a number of major conglomerates such as Sumitomo, Mitsui, Mitsubishi, and Itetsu, and which have global mining interests worldwide. And so we are also, abreast of talking to some of these sort of companies that, rather than standard global mining companies, the Japanese conglomerates would be very, very interested in coming in on discoveries in Japan.
That's obviously it makes a lot of sense. They don't want to be dependent on other governments, foreign governments, etc. They rather have everything secured in-house. That's amazing. Now I know the person who put this company together, and he's by far one of the most significant people in the mining industry. How important is it to have Frank Justra on board here so early?
Look, I think it's been wonderful to have Frank identify and understand this opportunity this early in its history. Frank's been enormously successful. He's an enormously successful company builder, and he has been for many, many years. And we look forward to his support and his active participation as we build Japan Gold Corp.
Well, John and Michael, I'm very grateful that you took the time to share with us in detail about Japan Gold so early in the game. And I will let you go here because I know you have many things to wrap up before drilling season begins. So thank you both.
Thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Leo.